Today we're going to smoke a 3-star Michelin style brisket, and we might even steam it. We'll see how it turns out. So I recently just watched a video put up on YouTube by Chris Young, who used to work at the Fat Duck in the UK, which is a 3-star Michelin style restaurant. And he put up a video saying you can smoke a brisket in 6 hours, which would be pretty nice because usually my briskets take all day, then I rest them overnight, then I eat it the next day. So I figured I need to give this a try and see if I can learn something from it. Maybe it's as good, if not better, than what I do usually. Maybe it's not as good, but we're going to find out. All right, here we go. So we got a brisket trimmed up. I got it from Costco, just like Chris did. And I went ahead and trimmed it up. I just figured y'all don't need to see a brisket trim video, but just throwing it in a pan with water because we're going to steam it. Seasoned it with salt and pepper. Wrapping it up. Put my probe in to monitor internal temp. Pretty much the whole time. It ended up staying about the ambient temp inside there steaming was like 250, even though I was running like 525 on the oven. Pretty cool environment in there. So there you go. Putting it in the oven. Those little aluminum foil balls that I put down there were just to elevate it so I could put more water in. And there you go. There's the ambient temp, 255. So I went ahead and got my coals ready outside, lit up a charcoal chimney full to do on my direct heat pit because that's what Chris did. He did his on a green egg. I didn't have a green egg, but I figure pretty similar. Heat coming from the bottom, moving up. Watch me fiddle around with this charcoal. I never use a charcoal chimney. Never use it. Yep. Just gonna, there's my dog. Yep. Charcoal chimney's no good, huh? Probably should have just taken that grate out and dumped it in and I'd be fine instead of me fiddling around with it. But y'all can watch me fiddle around with it. I go get that shovel. Anyways, gonna try and get it up to like 350 or so. Once I got all these coals in there, it held about 350. I don't think the temperature at the grate was about 350 because you got to keep the coals right at the front, and that's where the thermometers are. You see it in a little bit. But brisket is done, at least in the oven. It's hit 205, which is what Chris had his go to 205, so that's what I did. And there's the graph where it just came up. No stall in the oven. Plowed right through it, which makes sense. Got my hot gloves on here because that baby's hot. Pulling it out. Be careful when you open this if y'all do this. The steam is hot. Be careful. Something I would change is you can see this a little bit. The top of it's a little burnt where it was touching the foil. What I would do is maybe put a little piece of parchment paper, or not parchment paper, like butcher paper right over the top, just so that it doesn't touch the foil. I think that made it a little crispy on the bottom. But I moved it out to the grill, smoker, put a little bit of SPG back on it, and I put a little chicken bouillon on there too. I really should have put more chicken bouillon. I didn't really taste it at all. I should have put more. I thought it might come through a little bit more, but I wanted a little something different than just salt and pepper. Anyways, added some water for baffle. I ended up taking it off of this because it just wasn't cooking. But that's what Chris had he had a little water baffle in his green egg. So yeah, 300 on the front. I probably should be running more like 350. Anyways, there's me trying to put some wood chips in there, and these wood chips, it didn't taste smoky at all. I tasted no smoke. My wife said she tasted no smoke either, and she has a way better palate than me. I tend to like things really smoky, and she couldn't even taste any smoke flavor. You do kind of get like a grilled flavor because I took the water baffle out a little bit later, so you kind of get a little grill flavor to it, whereas kind of like if you were cooking burgers, over charcoal. But that flavor is just kind of odd on brisket to me, just because typically you get a heavier smoke profile on brisket, and it tastes pretty good that way. So here's me running. There was no smoke because Chris was saying smoke is bad. And this smoke, this coming out right here, is just the direct heat dripping, the fat dripping off of the brisket into the coals. So, yeah, again, I would not cook it this way. Just if you're looking for smoky brisket, if you're looking for no smoke, this is a good way to do it. So I have my tallow ready, have my wrap ready. Brisket's done out here. Have my probe in here. Flipped it back over. Fat cap bubbling, looking pretty good. All right, wrapped it up. Let it rest. We'll see what it looks like. If I can open this thing. Let it rest 1 hour. There's my dog. All right, I try and cut it with this thing, and it's just not cutting it because the bottom's too crispy. I think I got to switch to a serrated knife for this, just because to get through that bottom. The top was not crispy. The tenderness of the slice was really good. It was really good. You can see it right there, super tender, and it was cooked, 6 hours, which is pretty cool. I didn't get any really good bark flavor and development on the top though, which I kind of miss. I think that's something I wish I had on here. That I'm gonna do like my style of brisket where it's hot and fast pretty soon, and I'm gonna show y'all what I would do, what I would change in there. Cutting through. It cuts pretty well. Just that bottom was overdone. See if I'll pick up a slice. Nope. The whole brisket itself, a little undersalted. I could have done more salt. It just doesn't have a lot of flavor to it. It doesn't have smoke flavor. It doesn't have any other kind of flavor in the seasoning. You lose the texture that you get from an offset or from another smoker where you smoke it a longer time, where you develop the bark. That has flavor, yeah, but it also adds a lot of texture, and it's just missing that. It's kind of like a roast kind of flavor to me in texture. Which if I was going to do that, I wouldn't even put on the smoker. I would just steam it until it's tender and slice it up. So it's kind of like a waste. I'd rather just cook the brisket, steam it, be done. So I think you got to smoke it first. Smoke it first. That's what I would change. Smoke it first. Then if you're going to steam it, you can steam it, or you can just wrap it up and it steams anyway. Steams in the wrap. And there you go. Fatty end looked decent. I'll cut some of that seam fat out. The seam fat's not rendered. Tasted it. No flavor. Just not as flavorful as I'm used to. This is my brisket, so I taste it, then I keep cutting it. But you can see it's tender. That fatty end looks pretty good. And it even got a little smoke ring in there. But that's because I sprayed some nitrites on there that he did in the video too. I don't know if I would spray nitrates. They're kind of poisonous. You're supposed to let them cure for a while at least. But maybe just the time that it took to do that was good. So, all right. There you go.